You know, I'm a fighter. I love to fight, and I love dialogue and discussion. And you know, I'm full of conviction and tenacity. And I think that is a part of being dyslexic. I suppose the interesting thing about thinking laterally is that you come up with different solutions to ongoing problems. For example, when we designed an optician called Michel Guillon, well, the great thing with the Michel Guillon project was he came to us wanting a beige shop, a traditional optical shop. And after 3 months, we created what we believed to be one of the most radical designs we've come up, which was anything but beige or traditional. And part of the design is we created a series of kinetic glasses holders that popped out at a high level and to animate the space, and they would randomly, they kind of dance to an extent. And after a few months, it became really obvious that they were selling more glasses that moved than stayed. So in our pioneering to create a kind of an ultra sophisticated animated space, we actually created a sales tool. And I think at that moment, I realized that selling wasn't actually a negative. Being kind of slightly hippie in my early years, I'd believed that commerciality was, you know, was the devil. And I started to discover actually commerciality was what, you know, which was what fed us, and it needed celebrating, and it needed nurturing. There was another great opportunity when we were working with Comme des Garçons, and we created this alien wave in vibrant red fiberglass. And at a certain point, Ray Kawakubo, who's the creative director of Comme des Garçons, still is, and is the most extraordinary, brilliant, creative, said to us, Abe, the shop should not be red. Red is the wrong colour. And for 3 weeks, we disputed and discussed and argued and never let down the red was the red. And after 3 weeks, she said, I was only joking. I wanted to see your response and test your integrity. You know, I think, and I often wonder now if that happened, if I would, you know, because there's too many things going on, I would say, okay, fine, whatever, we'll do it green. You want it green? And in designing Comme des Garçons, we were given a space, and she said, this should be the soul of the shop. It should sell nothing. We just want you to create an installation. And so we had many ideas. We looked at putting in a seesaw, and that looked too much, you know, too gimmicky and comical. We had kind of things whizzing around the walls, and we ended up in creating a collection of 10 bright red, primary red cubes that just danced. But they weren't free dancers. They were attached by big motors, and they would just move around, shuffle, some spinning, some shuffling. And we worked with a brilliant programmer, Dominic Robson, who gives everything a choreography. And for 5 years, these cubes did nothing but dance. And the important thing when creating an installation of dancing cubes is that you have something, that you create something which lasts, because there's no point in creating whimsical movements that collapse. So we worked with a very good conveyor belt company that was used to making things. You know, the conveyor belt breaks down, it's a disaster. So that danced for 5 years. We designed a changing room for full circle that dropped out of the ceiling. So depending how busy you were, the more changing rooms you had, and they were fabric changing rooms. And when we originally designed them, we wanted them to be translucent so you could see people undressing. The client said that was absolutely unacceptable, that they would never allow such a thing. So we devised a plan to film people undressing behind a translucent screen and then project it full scale to the facade of the fabric changing rooms. And it was incredibly successful, and people would stop and stare for hours at these slightly enchanting figures. Also, because we were controlling it, we could make it much more theatrical than it would have been had it been, you know, real life changing. And I think, you know, these are all ideas that one creates, seeing things differently. Certainly, the Comme des Garçons and Michel Guillon I did with my partner Shona Kitchen, who was completely not dyslexic, but she had a very magical mind and very focused. It was a very interesting relationship, and some of the best work I've done was working in collaboration with her, because I think in those full partnerships there's a sense of tension that is exhausting, and, you know, is maybe unsustainable, but when it works is fantastic. I think the last thing that a creative wants, whether they're dyslexic or not, is an easy ride, because I think that you have nothing to fight against. And you know, I'm a fighter. I love to fight, and I love dialogue and discussion. And you know, I'm full of conviction and tenacity. And I think that is a part of being dyslexic. That sense that there is, you know, that failure happens, but it doesn't matter. You can go beyond, and failure is not a reason not to pioneer ahead and to try and cross the channel.